Joined by this book. So you can see. It is Victorial Encyclopedia of the Animal Kingdom. And no, my pencil was not out. This will be the first time that I'm looking at this book. I bought it from an op shop a while ago, a couple of weeks or more, but I've not had a chance to look at it yet. We can see that it is cloth bound. It has quite a bit of discoloration on it, but I'm wondering how much of that is just dirt. I have this soft makeup brush that I'm going to use just to dust the cover. See what we can pick up and remove. Okay, it does look quite dusty, and of course it is a cloth book, cloth covered book, which means it's quite prone to collecting dust. I do just want to do an experiment here. I have this eraser. It's certainly not as gentle as you would like for this type of work if you were going to be using it, but I'm just going to test on this little patch right here. Very gently. And see if any of that is coming off. Let's just brush it now. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I think that improved it a little bit, but you do then have the annoying task of removing all the little bits of rubber, so I may at some point the side. This looks either very dust damaged or very sun damaged or both. Oh, I've lost a brick. Hang on. Wait right there. I was wondering what was missing here. Now these are just a couple of bricks. A couple of bricks in wrapping paper. You can get bricks for about $1 at Bunnings. Just gonna use the eraser on a little patch here and see what happens. Worst case scenario, nothing will happen. So it's pretty safe. Just seeing if any of this is, something that will lift off. I don't think it is. Oh, it's dust. I just covered myself in it. Hang on. Is it gonna... Oh. Okay, so... some of it is dust. Gosh, how does the book get this dusty? I mean, I understand that dust exists in everyone's houses, and if you are not using a book, then it's going to get dusty, but this much dust. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see the colour changing? Can you see that? Let's try and do up here so you can see maybe the same thing is going to happen. I'm being really aggressive because the dust is like caked. Can you see the colour changing? I don't know if you can. I can see it changing. This whole area has just got darker. I don't think we'll get it back to the original green, but that sure is a difference. Okay, I'm not gonna spend the entire video just dusting the spine of this book, so let's move on. We can see that there's a bit of damage up along here, but honestly it's in quite good condition. This dot, can you see it? See this dot right here? That is from the folks at the second-hand shop. They put a sticker on and then they wrote with permanent marker the price. So, yep, that's not coming off. We can see the bottom is quite frayed, which does suggest to me that this was used quite a bit. I would expect this sort of wear on something that was put on and off the shelf a lot. So that's good. I like to see books with this kind of fraying. Am I going to do anything about it? Look, probably not, until the rest of the cover becomes damaged. And by damaged, I mean just wear and old age. There's no point fixing something that's not broken. And this is not yet broken. So let's start flipping through. The cover is in quite good condition, all things considered. Okay. another good use for bricks is to support your covers. Now, already I can see something terrible has happened over here. We have definite mildew, I would say, but actually I've seen this in a few books where you open just the front cover, and I don't know if it's because of the kind of paper they used on the front for the end pages or something, but this page right here will be really bad condition, but then you go through the rest of it and it's not damaged as much. So I'm not sure what the deal is there. Maybe it is just a different kind of paper, or maybe people just have an affinity for spilling drinks on the very first page of a book. I don't know. I have my trusty mineral tabs here. Oh, I forgot to get out any cotton buds. Do I have any on me? Probably not. Let's just use these are just regular makeup remover round thingies, allegedly with aloe vera. I doubt that will hurt the paper. They're just cotton. Now, I'm going to get a dab of this. A dab, I say, as I plunge the whole thing on in there. But that doesn't matter because we're going to sop it up on these two a bit. So we're not just soaking the page right off the bat. And I'm just going to go in and dab. This looks really aggressive, but it'll probably be fine. Again, this is my book. I don't really need to be too stressed, but I just want to stop whatever this is in its tracks before it gets any worse or spreads to other books. This book has been living in my office, tucked up nicely in a shoebox with some comfy tissue paper, because I have not had time to look in it and see how bad any mold is, so it's been quarantined away from my other books. Now I still don't have a UVC kind of light. I am going to get one. Just don't have the funds right at this minute. We will come back and check on this page in a moment, but you can already see it's starting to dry. Some more over here. I wonder if this is... No, it's not from that page. Might just dab these as well. So by VJ Stanek. I'm sure it's probably Stanek or something like that, but sorry, Mr. Stanek. Okay, so this book is printed on much more. Oh, that's the difference with this one. These pages are much more magazine-like in texture. They are very they're not quite like a modern magazine, but they're a lot more like a magazine you might get in the 60s. Somewhere between today's magazine and newspaper in texture. Honestly, there's a little dab of something there, and I'm not going to dive in with methylated spirits right on that, because this is a different paper to what I'm used to. So I don't just want to go in and splodge something on there. I'm quite impressed already by how well this book has held up. It's probably not surprising because it does look like it's been very well used. It hasn't just been sitting on a shelf. You know, someone's been picking it up and reading it, or at the very least moving it around. All the images are in black and white. Oh, we forgot to check. Does it say when it was published? I don't think it does. No. Oh wait, here we go. 1962. 1916, so... maybe 1966, because that's the latest date we have here. Let's go 1966, so for being that old, this is in impeccable condition. We've got a little bit of something here. Now I am noticing some black down in the spine, I guess, the hinge of this book, and I'm not sure if it's mold or if it's transfer, because there is a lot of black printing. Now there was some residue brushing out, but not enough to convince me that this is mold. Just going to take a dry one of these and just see if this is going to... oh, that wasn't dry. Never mind. See if this will lift up. Well, that can be our experiment page. So that looks very... whatever that is, it's not coming off. That is, it's not raised up from the surface or anything. It's just sitting in there. Now I'm curious about if this product, if the methylated spirits will leave a bit of almost an oily residue mark on this kind of paper, but let's flip back to the front. Check that end page. Yeah. So we can see some slight discoloration still, but that will fade. There's almost no evidence of any moisture. Same here. So that's good. We'll come back to this page and check on its progress in a few moments. Ah yes, see, there's a lot of black on this page. I'm wondering if for some reason it's just very dusty down here. Perhaps the book was left open or something on various pages and just never cleaned. feel free to leave them below while you're here. This is, I bought this because it's a historic book and I just thought, wow, that is so cool. Again, some markings here, but I'm not sure if that is mold or anything, or if it's just residue from the opposite page. Because this is a historic book and I thought that was pretty cool, but I also got it because my daughter loves animals, and we've been looking into, I have been looking into Charlotte Mason and her ideas on education, and I thought maybe it would be good to have some of these books that show real life up close and all the different animals that we might be able to see. But I haven't been able to give it to her yet because I hadn't had a chance to look at it to make sure it's safe to circulate. It looks like it is safe. Wow, that's beautiful. And my mother found a bunch of books she had with wildlife in them that focus on her local area. And Ruth has been, my daughter has been thoroughly enjoying looking at those. She is fascinated. Oh, we've got a colour print. So there are colour images in here. They just spread every so often. That's pretty cool. My daughter's obsessed with the more icky animals. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, this looks like a manufacturing thing. My guess is that this is the end of one signature and the start of another, and so there's a little extra glue down there to strengthen the spine between the signatures. And what's happened is the glue is actually, it's either worn away a bit at one end or they just ended up with too much glue up the top. But I'm not going to do anything about it because I've learned that the best method is to leave well enough alone when it comes to glue in books. Unless there is glue missing, in which case we should put it back where it belongs. Because that stuff is the structural integrity of our books, even the well-bound ones. She's going to love seeing all of these snails and slugs. Now we've got more discoloration along here, but we can see that this mark almost perfectly matches up with this one. And I'm probably just going to assume, because I'm not seeing any mildew or anything like that, we're going to assume that this discoloration that we're seeing is from the prints. Wow, that's so vivid. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of really boring video. Oh, there's something in here actually. about going ahead and just putting a tab in here. Oh, there's not even a tab on that one. This one maybe. Yep. There we go, just the tiniest tab. This would be easier if I had not lost my Q-tips, but here we are. I might, for the sake of our comfort, skip the spider section for now. Let's move on to something a bit nicer. Gosh, is everything in here creepy? I think we've just landed upon the very freaky things area. Ah, there we go. Some bumblebees, that's much nicer. And here we have another one of those beautiful full page colour prints. Wow. The bees are so vivid. I love the flower. And I love that it's contrasted throughout the book, where there's all this black and white and then you get a beautiful image like that. And it's on this thick, almost like a modern magazine cover texture of paper. Here we have another bit where it's glued together. Just leave that. So the most common place to find any mold, if we're going to find it, will be in the spine, although, what's that? Nope, that's just part of the print. Down in this crevice along here. If we're going to find evidence of damage, it's probably going to be there. I'm almost sad that these beetle images are not in colour, because some of these have such beautiful colour schemes. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flip this over, put the brick on the other side, and check out the back of the book. Just gonna wipe this though first. Some little crusties on there. Okay, we've got more. That's interesting. A bit of tape just peeling right off there. That's lifted up in a few areas. I might just reinforce that with a dab of glue. I may, but I don't have any glue on me because I wasn't thinking I'd be doing any repairs. So yes, I did just brush the clump from this brush off on my clothes, but it's fine because I own a washing machine. So again, we've got this back page here and it's weirdly damaged. I'm curious about this sticky tape line because there's one on the front cover as well, which makes me think perhaps at one stage this had a dust jacket and they sticky taped it on for reasons unknown to me. It clearly didn't work because of the state of the cover, but okay. looking a little worse for wear. This small magazine-y paper is showing some interesting signs of damage. It's interesting that it's in the concordance is the wrong word, the index. Okay, but again, it looks like it may only, oh wait, there's some more. Oh, bunny rabbits. It is illegal to own bunny rabbits where I live. Makes me very sad. But I love seeing them in the wild. So that's very interesting. Oh, this is very interesting. It's on a color image. No. I was wondering if perhaps this blotch here was a wear through from the color on the other side, but I do not think it is. I'll leave that though because it is on the back of a color image. We'll come back to that some other time. For now, I'm just going to focus back here because that is the most damaged area. Now, is this lightly soggy? Yes. Now, again, realistically speaking, I could probably just put this in a little spray bottle and go, but I prefer doing it this way because it's more controlled. I say as I just dab it everywhere because I'm using the wrong equipment, but in theory it's more controlled this way. If you do it correctly, which I am not. I'm really, I guess, just doing this for the fun of it because I am. Once I get my UVC, I'm just going to go back through this again, so really I'm just doing this for the fun of it for now. Just to stunt the progress of whatever is living in here. Now, this is an end page, and we can see it started to lift away. This should be all glued together, but it's broken apart, so I will. Yeah, that looks fine. I will go through and just add more glue in there. But there is some residue down in this crevice here. Tasty. Okay. I do like how things stick to these brushes. It's very handy, very helpful. Just making sure there's nothing down in there that we don't want. Things like mold, residue, or whatnot. That just popped right off. About this, don't think that's coming off. This is. We might need the knife for this. No, that doesn't want to happen. And nor does that one. I think this one will. No, I was wrong. They're all too address this later. This bit again is on the magazine paper, so because it is such a large, we can see large areas happening here. I'm not going to treat this with the metho. I'm actually going to leave this open in the sunlight for a few hours to try and treat this, because it's not throughout the rest of the book. But before we finish up, I just want to have a look at the pages. It's actually looked to be in fine condition. We can see some pages hanging out further than others at the ends. But I actually think that that is the original design of the book. I think that this was one like the Dumas that had that curved spine going on, especially given how the pages are attached, I noticed when I was flipping through. So that is good news. Well, that is the end of this